Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about American politics. And whew, boy, is there a lot to talk about. Oh my gosh, it is astonishing. We are just in incredible times. Today we're going to talk about the Joe out, Kamala in era. We're in that era, okay? But we're going to talk about an event within it that deals with Donald Trump, okay? And that is the Theo Von Donald Trump interview. So Theo Von is a successful, extremely talented comedian. He's very funny, and he's been funny for decades. He's also rural, right? He identifies as rural. He identifies as um, like what's rural mean? Rural means they can shoot a varmint, right? Rural means they've taken in the hay bales, right? Rural means be careful around that guy. Your girlfriend knows that he can actually change her tire, right? Rural, okay? All right, rural, and he's a recovered addict. He's talked about it openly, and he has levels of charm that are off the chart, okay? And he just interviewed Donald Trump, and it's a very, very big deal. Why is it a big deal that Theo Von interviewed Donald Trump? It's an extremely big deal. I'm going to tell you, but first we have to talk about, well, if this is a Donald Trump interview, what's it got to do with Kamala? Well, I want you to understand things. We live in eras, right? And right now, this is an era. This is an extremely unique moment in time. One, Democrats are excited. They actually think they can win. Right? That's real. They really do think that. It's not true, but they do really think it. And hope is powerful, right? And not for winning elections. Right? It's really powerful for re-energizing a base and making people personally re-energized. Because I think a lot of Democrats were really hurting. Right? Why were they hurting? Well, they were stuck. Right? What were they stuck doing? They were stuck in a cycle for years, and then intensely for months, pretending that they had a candidate who could speak full sentences. That's powerful gaslighting you have to do. You have to work real hard for it, and you don't get good sleep after it. You really don't. And they were doing it. They were doing it hard, right? Just hard, right? And can you imagine that right now we live in a world where, a 20-year-old person goes to their local pizza shop and they're like, listen, you need to be a good communicator. You want this job? You need to be a good communicator. You need a driver's license, and it's got to be in good standing because you're going to deliver pizzas. You have to know about how to manage multiple tasks, right? Because, you're going to need that communication because when you take a call to take the order for the pizza, and then you need to, at the same time, not let the pizza that's in the oven burn, right? Oh, and guess what? You need humility because you're going to scrub some pots, buddy, right? You're going to do some dishes. We need you to be a good communicator, a driver, someone who manages his time well, and have humility, right? Those are our job requirements for working at this pizza shop. DNC and the Republicans are like, hey, we need somebody for the U.S. presidency. Here's our requirement list. Can speak complete sentences. Oh, you can't? You're fine. It'll work. We can make it work. You don't even have to be able to speak full sentences because this job is less important than making and delivering pizzas, right? Well, it's astonishing. It's absolutely astonishing. Theo Von interview, right? So all of this is it. So the reason why we're talking about this in context of Kamala is this is the first time I think since the assassination attempt that President Trump has really gained significant points against Kamala, right? Now, he was already way ahead, but nothing he was doing was really sticking or gaining new points, right? And this Theo Von interview, oh my gosh, did it get him points, right? So why does it get him points? Well, I need you to understand this. Theo Von interviewing Trump is a replacement. What's it a replacement for? Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan, I'm convinced now. I used to say he could give somebody 5 or 10 or 15 points in the general, right? I think if Joe Rogan interviewed either candidate, it would cement their win. Even Kamala. If Joe Rogan interviewed Kamala, she would win, right? And the reason why is they are kingmakers. He is a kingmaker now. He is a kingmaker now, right? And he knows it and he hates it. He does not want this responsibility. He doesn't want to decide who America's president is. But everybody in the world loves Joe Rogan, right? Like, or more than enough, everybody who votes loves Joe Rogan. Everybody, right? Because he's a real one. He's a real one. What's a real one? John Bernthal, he's an actor. He has a podcast called The Real One. The Real Ones. Ironically, he's not. I feel like he is pretending to be everything that he presents as, right? But Theo Von, he's a real one, right? Like, he is a genuinely likable dude who is not evil, right? That's Joe Rogan, a genuinely likable dude who's not evil. Wait, what's the big deal? A genuinely likable dude who's not evil? They're rare as hen's teeth. They are rare as, as 8-carat diamonds. They're so rare, right? A likable dude who's not evil. I can't even say that, right? I'm an evangelical Christian. We all know that we're deplorable and evil to the core, right? And I'm not even likable. I struggle really hard to keep friends. I make them like crazy. I can't. It's very difficult to keep them, right? So like, I'm not one. I wish I was. I wish I was a real one. Like, I'm not, right? Like, it's Theo Von and Joe Rogan. And Joe Rogan, so Theo Von is the replacement for Joe Rogan, and he's going to get him a lot of points. I don't know if he'll cement his win, which I really think. I think Kamala has a chance, 1%. Okay, it's a 99-1% split. 99 Trump, 1% right now, and on some days Kamala jumps to 2% or 3%. But this interview is huge. It is such a big deal. Okay. So realize it is a replacement for Joe Rogan, and it is extremely important from that perspective, because Joe Rogan is not going, Joe Rogan is not going to interview any major candidate for president. He's not, right? It's just, he might do some fringe stuff, but he's not going to interview the Republicans or the Democrats, because he knows I think previously he would have given 5, 10, or 15 points. Today, I think he's a lock. I think anybody Joe Rogan interviews wins the election, period. Especially right now in this time, right? And that's why he wouldn't do it. He doesn't want this responsibility, but he has it. And I think it's extremely important to realize that. Also, I did want to so I already said it. The reason why Trump gets so many points for sitting down with Theo Von is everybody loves this guy. He's the best. He's super good at what he does. He's extremely genuine, extremely sincere. He's just really a beautiful person, right? And people just attach that to the people that they interview, right? Shouldn't, but they do. It's just the way of the world, right? Here's the next one. It really helps to be talking to Theo Von, but the reality is, one thing, I watched some of this. I didn't even watch all of it. I just watched some of it, right? But I was shocked that Theo Von did this, right? And that's the other thing, is Theo Von is real Hollywood. People know him, right? Like, he's real Hollywood, right? He's been in movies. Like, it's not, his comedy is his main thing, but he's a real one. Actually, he's actual Hollywood, right? And the Republicans, like, Kid Rock ain't a star, like, the Republicans have real Hollywood stars show up for the Democrats. Real Hollywood stars can't be dragged to a Republican convention, right? And so Theo Von is attaching himself to Donald Trump. And people who are likable generally don't do that. They don't take that risk, right? And so this is a really big deal. The other one is, I do think we have a problem with Trump, and that is doddering, rambling, old, right? He is coherent, right? He can speak full sentences, and he can listen to a sentence and then respond to it. But he just plays old, because he is old. He's ancient, right? And the Republicans and the Democrats don't have that problem anymore. They have a young, vibrant candidate. And I'm not sure. I do think it was right to do this Theo Von interview. He should come out of the weeds. If Oprah says, I want to interview, Trump should come out. But rallies, I don't know if he should do another rally, and I don't know if he should do another interview. And the reason why is he's got the Hillary problem. Every time he talks, you're like, I don't know, man. Like, he's super old. He is super old. He is super old, right? And like ancient crypt mummy old, right? He is ancient crypt mummy old, and it is bad. It looks horrible on camera. And trust and believe in America, you cannot look horrible on camera and do stuff that you need to, right? I really think he needs to start doing the Biden move of sticking in a basement, right? And the reason why is it's his election to lose. It's his election to lose. And he has reached a point where he is just wafting old off of himself, right? And it doesn't play well, right? And the thing is, he's got it locked. He's got it locked. He can coast the rest of the way, right? This Theo Von, I'm sorry, I know I'm saying two things here. If he gets the right interview, come on out, do it short. This is an hour. It was too long, right? He should have done 15 minutes with Theo Von, right? And he should do 15 minutes with Keanu Reeves, right? But if Joe Blow or some schmucky reporter wants an interview, you can kick rocks. We got this thing. And I will tell you, right? Trump's voters will do anything to vote for him. They are locked. They are not going anywhere. He does not need to do another thing. He should have done 15 minutes with Theo Von, smiled and said something nice. He should do an interview with Keanu Reeves. He should do an interview with, like, who's the lady who was in The Blind Side? Sandra Bullock, right? But if it ain't Sandra Bullock or Keanu Reeves or some megastar, or Ryan Gosling or some megastar come calling, kick rocks and keep that trap shut and keep that ancient crypt mummy face off the cameras. It's his. He just needs to step out of the way and only do 15 minutes with banger real celebrities. Every single word you just heard is my humble opinion. The important part is when I get to hear your humble opinion when you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider like subscribing and have a fetch millennium.